Jake just picked up from the Abandoned Realms. Let's see if he makes the same mistake. Aha! He has not. He has a set of 3s. Gotta try and keep it entertaining. He's decided to discard the 15 of the neutral set. That means it is Steven's turn again. He contemplates. He thinks. He smirks. And he draws. By the way, if you have any questions and you are in the chat room, you can go ahead and feel free to ask it, and I will answer it. Now, Steven has discarded the 10, which Jake has just picked up. This 10... Oh, no, sorry. Steven discarded this card. When you discard a card that has special text written on it, that is when the special text gets activated. This one says, you may activate your champion's minor ability. Now remember when I said that the champions had special awesome abilities you see during gameplay. This is a possible opportunity to see that happen. Let's see if Steven chooses to do this. He has decided to do it. So, his minor champion ability. Again, reminder, Steven is on the green team. He is playing the Dragonette. His minor ability is to look at the top of 2 cards of the draw pile. You may place one of them on the bottom of the deck. That is part of the psychic ability I was talking about. You may have your champion back. That means it is Jake's turn. He is going to pick up the 10 that was discarded. Now remember, he must be able to play it, so let's see what he does. He has decided to play 3 10s. And he is out! Oh, look at that! Out means he has no cards in his hand! And so, when that happens, the hand is done. Poor Steven didn't have any points scored. What was left in his hand, it counts as negative points. But since this is the first hand, and he doesn't have any points, we're not going to be too mean, so he gets 0. So Steven gets 0 points. Now Jake gets to count up the gold on each of the cards in his hand. I will show you what this looks like. All right. So you see that it says 2 gold right there.
That's what I did.
What? Oh, oops, you cannot see that, can you? So, apparently, still not.
There you go.
Now you can see that it says 2 gold. So on the bottom right-hand corner, it will say how much gold that card is worth. And then we will write that down.
17.
Jake scored 17 gold.
That's how much I would have lost.
That is how much Steve would have lost.
Seven cards.
Now that one hand has been played, I'm going to leave it up to them to show you how it's done.
So do you play a specific number of hands per game?
Good question, says our audience participator. The question was, do you play a certain amount of hands? The answer that is You play to a certain amount of gold. And for 2 players, it's
90.
90 gold. So whoever gets 90 gold first is the winner, and thus champion of Dragoonium.
And that's however many hands that takes.
Exactly. So roughly in playtesting, we've learned it takes about an average of 4 hands.
Depending on the players.
Depending on the players or the colors, but usually about 4 hands.
And we play 13, 14, 15 neutral. I will discard the red 13, the Sultana. It says, skip the next player's turn. So I will therefore be skipping your turn.
Looks like you're off to a great start in this game.
Oh, awesome.
Alright. Drew a card, and then I will discard this red 8. You may go.
I'll play 11, 12, 13 red.
Anything else?
No.
So I guess one question that I have is, you guys mentioned in the beginning that you have abilities on the dragons, and you never really mentioned how you get to use those.
That is a very good question. If you score cards that are of your color, then you can tap it, which basically means just turning it sideways, and then say that you're going to use your ability that's written on there. The reason why they haven't done it, other than the discard that gave them the special ability to do so out of turn, is because they haven't scored cards in their color yet.
Okay.
And then the major ability you activate by paying gold. And it's a more powerful ability, so the point is that you are using it less often.
And when can you use these?
At any point, pretty much. You can use the abilities during your turn or during your opponent's turn.
When they seem to make sense, obviously.
There are some abilities that are conditional and require certain game states to be able to play, and those are explained on the cards. I will discard. I will discard this 9.
Six.
What do you have over here?
11, 12, 13 red.
Well, speaking of abilities, I'm going to pay 5 gold to activate my major ability.
So as he just said, he's paying 5 gold to activate his major ability. His major ability is choose an opponent. They'll put 3 cards at random from their score pile to the wasteland, which means they're gone. So which is why you have to pay 5 gold to use that. There it is.
What happens to cards that go into the wasteland?
They get put aside.
They're removed from hand.
Yeah, they're removed from this hand. So unless there's another card that says otherwise, that's always the exception. They're removed essentially from the game for the duration of this hand.
So there isn't any way to get them back if they've been put into the wastes?
There are some cards that do it, but very few.
Very, very few. So
Lost 7 gold out of that.
And I will And I will discard. Ooh. That's a good question.
Since he was -5 at now for using his ability, the score is now Jake 12 to Steven 0.
I'll pick up down to the 9. Eight, 9, 10. And I will discard this 6 again. I will discard the green 13.
Alright.
Green 13 has the ability that lets me look at another player's hand.
Oh, jeez.
So I will take this time to glance at everything that Steven has in his hand. And very much recognize the fact that he is probably going to pick that 13 up. Hopefully he can go out.
You mean hopefully for his sake?
Yes.
12, 13, 14, 11. Activate major ability.
So what did you play the 11 off of?
Off of his 10, 9, 8. Now since they're neutral color, I can play the neutral.
Once you have cards in your score pile, you can play off of cards that are in other people's score piles.
Activate my major ability, take the top card of the deck, the Abandoned Realms, and the Wasteland, put one of those into my hand, one to the score pile, and one at the bottom of the deck. This one.
So that's activating your minor ability?
Major.
Major.
Nice. Since he discarded the 14 neutral, it has that ability on it, which triggers the major ability on his dragon.
Which I could activate my minor ability to keep looking for the top.
So once again, that was take the top card of the deck, the Abandoned Realms, and the Wasteland. So this is where he can get a card back from the Wasteland. Put one into your hand, one into your score pile, which is into play, so he gets this to get the gold for that card, and then one on the bottom of the deck.
Yep.
So I got this one.
That one.
So. Okay, the 5 will go into my score pile. This will go on the bottom. And this will go into my hand. And then I shall
Be done.
be done, I guess.
Okay, my
Right?
turn. All right, so. Well, nothing in the Abandoned Realms that I want. Draw a card here. Okay, I will play this 15 off of your 12, 13, 14 run over there. I will pay 5 gold again to activate my major ability.
Ah, okay.
So you get
Jake is
to
3
adventurous.
random.
So the Red Dragon's major ability lets him force an opponent to have 3 of his cards that are in his score pile at random be moved to the Wasteland. So basically he's just getting rid of all of Steven's points.
Yep. Alright, and then I will.
Score is currently Jake 7 to Steven 0.
Discard this 3.